Episode 6. Let's continue our bridge challenge. Shortly, I'll have to switch first. I fell out of love with the idea of letting Cubone get knocked out in the bridge instead of just letting War Turtle clean the bridge. I guess. And trainer number 4, using a Pidgey. This bridge is a terrible contest. It's not even a gauntlet. You can just, after every battle, you can just go back to the Pokemon League, or the Poké Center. Yeah, you can just come back anytime later, because you don't have to fight them all over again. It'd be interesting if it was like a 5-man gauntlet that you had to beat from beginning to end in one go. But it's not what it is. It's just 5 unavoidable trainers. Because you do have to go this way. As I was mentioning last time, there's a trainer named Bill here who shows you things for your Pokedex. Actually, it's more for your convenience if you've never played this game before and don't know about a certain special Pokemon. We'll see that when we see that. Trainer 5, the actual competent one. It's using something neat. A Mankey. Half pig, half monkey, half martial artist. I think he's also half rage, but... But he's nothing in the end of the day. No, the true boss is up ahead. Even though, from what I remember of his team, I think this trainer right here could take him on. And I'm spazzing out because they all say that they have no regrets. Even though they should have regrets, they've wasted their time. They're standing on this bridge being a bunch of easy trainers. And calling themselves the contest trainers. You know, go do something with your life. Yeah, this guy's gonna try and press gang us into Team Rocket. Yeah, he's gonna convince us, alright. Oh yeah. I'm so scared of you. Thanks for the nugget, by the way. Nuggets are useless items. They only sell for money. $5,000. Level 15 backwards snake. Come on. Can the contest bridge be a little bit of a contest, please? But no, I seriously think that the kid with the Mankey can take this guy on. I mean, this guy's not a problem. I suppose the Mankey might get wrapped by the backwards snake. And if he continues to do that, he'll lose, but... I could become a top leader in Team Rocket. Or... I don't have to join a worthless organization. Anyway, there's some grass over here. We can finally catch a third thing. Something in this grass. It's quite powerful at the end of its line. You might be able to guess what that is if you know this patch of grass. That's right. I'm looking for a Bellsprout. To be fair, in Gen 1 he is quite good. Maybe not after Gen 1, but I'm gonna use him while he's still there. Get me a Bellsprout. And something unfortunate did happen, because he's level 12, so I was gonna grind him to catch up to these, my other two. Something happened. He evolved. I'm sorry. I'll name him Weed, because that's what he is. He's a weed. Even though he's actually like a flower that turns into a pitcher plant. Yep, and so I grinded him to level 22, because I thought he didn't evolve until like the 30s. But no, he evolves at level 22. Sorry you never got to see him as a bell sprout, but... Sorry again, you'll also be seeing him as a weeping bell for quite some time. He doesn't learn the move Razor Leaf until like level 42. And that's what I need him to know. Oh, so I do things a little bit out of order, because at this point I am tired of Cubone, and I'm tired of that stupid game mechanic where he will ignore me because he's a traded Pokemon and I don't have this gym badge, so I'm gonna get this gym badge. It'll give me ample time to show off my new Weepin' Bell. Also give me another chance to show why typing the theme is... Theming to type is such a terrible idea. This is his move pool. It's actually quite shallow. Like, this is why he won't be so useful after Gen 1. And in Gen 1, he's not the greatest, but there is a specific moveset that I found that seems to work pretty well. More into that when we get there, because it's going to be a long time before we even approach the moveset I'm going to go for him. He needs to be a Victory Bell before he can learn a couple of them. No chance. Especially with a Goldeen. You know, we joke that Magikarp is the worst Pokemon in the game. But in truth, Goldeen is probably worse than Magikarp. Now, it's true, on their own, in a vacuum, Goldeen can actually do things. But Magikarp turns into Gyarados, and Goldeen turns into Seaking. Yeah. No, with that in mind, Goldeen is the worst of the two. But now we have to face Misty so we can get that badge. The Water Gym, the Water Trainer. She's asking us about our policy, and my policy is to have a balanced team of things that I generally like. Whereas she says her policy is an all-out offense with Water-type Pokemon. Well, you're a bad trainer then, like all the gym leaders. Because watch this. Watch what happens. Now, admittedly, I maybe over-leveled a little bit, but... I don't think so. I think her Starmie is more powerful, I think. I only caught him up to my other two. But because you don't diversify your type lineup, I have the one thing you can't beat. Yeah, this coming from me, who had a water type and a ground type and was pretty close to not being able to fight a lass earlier. But, I mean, that's forgivable. You're a gym leader. Theme to something other than type. Around here, I don't know what you would theme to. Cerulean City's not really all that much of a grand city. Well, suppose you do theme to the ocean, because the ocean is nearby. You know, that'd leave room for a couple water types, sure, but I'm sure there's some other things I can think of. Not off the top of my head, but you know, in future gens, that's easier done said than done, so I don't know. Maybe type was the best way to go about it in Gen 1. Oh well. She gives us the TM for Bubble Beam, and she wants us to use it on an aquatic Pokemon. Well, normally I would give it to Squirtle, but in this case I'm not going to. I'm actually saving it for something else. Nothing we have right now, but... Again, I am the type of person who plans these things out. So it generally means I make a little bit better of use of certain things like TMs. And now we're gonna fight this guy we saw there. And here comes the rest of the episode, because up ahead we have a bunch of trainers, and I go out of my way to fight them. So I like money and I like experience. I suppose another problem with Gen 1 and me complaining about the lack of diversity is there's just only 150 of them, and to fill out those 150 slots, they had certain things undergo evolution to change into more powerful things, meaning there's less choice overall. Of course, I have my problems with future gens. And so sometimes a lot of the Pokemon that became added. But that's a discussion for another time. Because Gen 1's big problem is there is only 150 things, and that in itself is a problem. I think Gen 3 is Pokemon diversity at its best. Because it still had a lot of designs that I liked. And it had so many things there that you had just a whole lot more you could see. You know, it was less repetitive for the most part. Ah, well, it's a topic worth discussion for now, I suppose. Because there's nothing else that's going to happen in this episode besides fighting trainers. My problem with a lot of the designs from later gens, specifically past Generation 2, is that after Generation 2, like, the art direction started to change. I believe it had something to do with the art director himself changed. And so we had different people directing the art designs, and, well, different artists have different styles. So Gen 1 and 2 had similar styles to each other as far as design goes. Gen 3, that style would be a little different. You know, and it's noticeable, but it's not bad. It's still at least, you know, it's noticeable, but it doesn't bother me, anyway. Gen 4 is where this starts to change in my mind. I started to just not like where the art direction as far as Pokemon designs was headed. But there was still a lot that I liked. And then Gen 5 happened. And the art direction for that design was so wildly different, in my mind, that I can notice, I should say, that a lot of the new Pokemon from Gen 5 felt like they were from, like, a Pokemon knockoff game instead of a Pokemon game, if that makes sense. Because I like a lot of the designs, they just feel so different that they feel like they're from a different game. You know? Like, well, they are from a different game, but from a different series. And like I said, I like a lot of the designs. It's just so different at that point that that's kind of where I fell out of love with the series. However, before we go throwing around too many Gen 1er accusations, I will admit that the later games are better as far as just pure game mechanics goes. Especially in the realm of multiplayer, because the DS wireless connectivity made multiplayer so much better. Like, it used to be terrible. Just terrible. You had to have 2 Game Boys. Well, of course. But you had to have a link cable to even connect those 2 Game Boys. And the Game Boy itself, while a popular system, was nowhere near as large as the DS ever was. So, even then, you had to have friends who had Game Boys at all, and one of you had to have a link cable. And that was a little bit harder back then. And then the DS came out, and it was apparently a really, really, really popular thing amongst just everybody. Everybody had a DS. Absolutely everybody did. And so a lot of people were getting into Pokemon. And, you know, that's why Gen 4 is as popular as it is. That's why, you know, Diamond and Pearl is as popular as they are. Because that was a lot of people's first Pokemon game. And the multiplayer was amazing because it was all wireless. And everybody had a DS. So, don't get me wrong. The later games, you know, they did a lot good. I'm specifically talking from an art direction. That and the earliest multiplayer experiences weren't that fun. Unless you had an N64 in Pokemon Stadium. In which case it got a little better. But if you were playing multiplayer with 2 connected Game Boys, that was a slow event. And now I'm done talking about this topic. I'll probably discuss it a little more down the road. Not in this game, though. Because even among the stupid Pokemon with designs that I don't like, I like their design a lot more nowadays because it sticks to that original art design. That original style. I don't know how else to explain it, though. Like... Yep, we gotcha. Now this next trainer's interesting. If you want an item behind him, you can get it now by meeting him here. If you meet him any closer, he won't move far enough away to get back there, and you'll have to wait until later than when you can cut down that bush all the way on the right to get what's back there, so... But there's an item back there. It's of interesting value. I make no use out of it, but I do decide to show it off. 'Cause I'm like that. I just want to show it off. Man, no. If I think this is rough, oh, I'm thinking of a part later that's just gonna be... well, you'll see it when we get there, and I'll definitely be looking for ways to get through that one. This TM19 contains Seismic Toss. Seismic Toss is an interesting move. That makes me stumble over my words. And it also deals damage equal to the user's level. So if you're level 25 and you use it, it deals 25 damage. If you're level 100 when you use it, it deals 100 damage. It's not a bad move for some of the tankier Pokemon that can't deal as much damage. And I admit, in Pokemon Stadium specifically, the AI uses it to an annoying degree. Like, an annoying amount of effectiveness, too. Like, it shouldn't be as effective as it is, but in Pokemon Stadium it is. when the AI uses it. Anyway, I don't learn Bite. I know it's probably better than Mega Punch, but it's not Mega Punch. And I believe we only have one more fight to get through before the end here, but that's also the end of the video soon. We don't see Bill this time. But that means next time we'll see Bill and be on our way. Mostly. And she's jealous of her friend's cute Pokemon, and I'm like, well, just go catch a cute Pokemon. What's the problem here? Oh, she just doesn't like Oddish. Oh, and I had a decision. I could either wrap my way through 3 encounters, or, the more entertaining of the two, use a bunch of growths, and then just whip my way through her. And something interesting was happening. I don't know what's going on here, but her Oddish can't use Absorb after the first one, and I don't know why. Like, that's weird, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. And even her Pidgey stands no chance against the power of my Vine Whips after 6 growths. Critical hits ignore your stat changes, and they ignore all stat changes, frankly, so I did less damage with the crit than I did with the non-crit. Just because of the quirkiness of how things worked. Oh well. With that, we've beaten all the trainers along this road. Aren't you happy you got to witness that and listen to me talk about art direction? Well, have a good day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.